let's prune this vine together. This is a fairly simple one. First thing you need to do is locate your spur positions from the previous year. On the left hand side we have it here. You can see the little stub with the bud at the bottom now has a healthy cane, and the bud on the top also has a healthy cane. And then on the right hand side we have a little stub here. They've taken bud 1 and bud 0. You can see by how close that is into the old wood. And then as you look around, there's a few water shoots, and these right here are the fruiting canes from last year. So we're going to work with the left hand side. What we need to do is lock in our spur position for this year, so we can guarantee that we have a good spur and fruiting cane for next year. So we always want to maintain that we're following the sap flow up the trunk and using the correct bud orientation. We want to prune this so we have a new spur. So I'm going to take bud 1 and bud 2, and as you can see there's probably bud 0 right in the back, and that is pointing the wrong way. Bud 1 is pointing down towards the fruiting wire. Bud 2 is pointing up. So that's a perfect spur position. Next year it's going to continue the branching and it's going to look fantastic. Then on that side we are going to lock in a fruiting cane. So because we've had a great spur position, the fruiting cane is perfect. We'll count out the buds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We cut through number 9. I'm only looking to get about 8 buds on these vines per arm. We'll cut off all the tendrils and the little tags, just clean it up so it's nice and easy to wrap down. Nothing interferes with the buds. And then we need to remove the fruiting cane from last year. Now as you can see, it's come up from this wood into the main trunk right here, and if I was to cut it off right back here, there is not enough dry back space in here for the wound to dry back successfully without causing damage. So what I need to do is follow the 3 times the diameter in length rule so I don't cause too much damage and dry back. So that I'd say is about 2 centimeters thickness. So I'm going to cut it out 6 centimeters long. 1, 2, 3, 2, 4, 6. Sorry, there we go. And cut it right there. Now that's going to dry back this year, just here. It's going to dry back this year, and then next year I can lop it off right there and remove that out of the way, cleaning up space for this bud spur position to continue. Now we want to go through and cut our old arm off in at least 3 places, because that's going to make it a lot easier for me to rip it out later when I'm pulling out the canes. And then we just want to make sure that there's no water shoots coming out anywhere that needs to come off. As you can see, there's a little one at the back. I'm going to do a crown cut on that. And the left hand side is finished. Now on the right hand side, it's not as simple. You've got your spur position here. It's sort of pointing more to the mid row rather than along with the fruiting wire. Now we have 2 options. Because the branching process hasn't been started, we could take this water shoot as a new spur position and start chasing that one back in the other direction, or we can try and realign our buds from the current spur position so it's shooting back towards the cordon wire. What I'm going to do is continue with our current spur position. I want to start branching off this and create a really nice structure from there with plenty of carbohydrates stored in it, rather than changing to different spur positions every year. So I'm going to look for the buds that I want. As you can see, bud 1 here is pointing inwards towards the fruiting wire, like that. And then bud 2 is pointing out to the mid row. So I'm going to take it as bud 1 and 2. Bud 1 will go in, bud 2 will come out, but we'll be able to catch that with our wire lift. And that will be easy to redirect our spur position next year and take a fruiting cane from here. Then we need to choose our fruiting cane for this year. Because it's been a nice spur position, that's an easy choice. We'll take this one. We'll count it out the amount of buds I want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we're going to cut through number 9 and then remove all of the tendrils and tags from the cane so it's nice and clean. We can wrap down easily. Then we want to remove all the rest of the wood that we do not want to use this year. So there's a water shoot in here. I'm going to do a crown cut on that so I don't leave a big scar because it's in our sap flow line, right there. And the fruiting cane from last year can come off because it's in the crown here. There's a bit of a stub of wood, what it goes back into. So it's 2-year-old wood going into 3-year-old wood now. So I can take that, I'm going to leave a little stub just so it has a little bit extra to dry back into here. And then I'll do a couple cuts along it just so I can pull it out easily later. And then I'll go through back to the vine and just remove any extra dry wood that I can. And there we go. And then the last thing, just check on the ground, just check that there's no water shoots. As you can see, there's some roots that have been exposed. So just cut them out. There we go. We have 2 spur positions securing next year's structure and fruit, and canes to wrap down, and then 2 canes to wrap down, both cut to length exactly how many buds I want, and that's securing fruit for next year. And then we're starting to create a really nice V shape. We'll get all rid of the stubs next year, and we'll continue the branching process.